Hello, YouTube. Here's a quick update on the Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns quarterback situation. So many of you have been hearing over the last couple weeks that it's been kind of going back and forth between Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel and who's going to be the starter. And now Kenny Pickett's name's been brought in there as well, and will be Joe Flacco. So I kind of just wanted to make a quick update and say that training camp is just now starting. So whenever you watch the NFL preseason or off season, you just need to understand that a majority of players' growth happens in the off season, before training camp starts. That's when they get the most opportunities to learn and grow, develop new skills, and then ultimately train and learn the offense and apply it when they're actually on the field and in games. So when training camp starts, that's ultimately when they are competing for starting positions, competing for reps and for roster opportunities. So right now, as the Cleveland Browns training camp is starting, there is a lot of opportunities for them to continue to grow, but as well establish themselves on the roster. So right now, I still feel like the starting quarterback is Deshaun Watson, and he is injured. He is their starting quarterback until at least 2026 or so. Or if they pay him out before then, I'm not sure. But ultimately, that is their starting quarterback. That is their franchise player. Joe Flacco is probably the most experienced player in their system and in their NFL division. And I feel like he's the one who has the most experience, so he's going to be the one who's going to have the most confidence in playing. And then there's Kenny Pickett, who played 2 seasons with the Steelers, was kind of underwhelming, went to the Philadelphia Eagles for a season, and now he's in Cleveland. People have said that he's shown some progress, but again, it wasn't in training camp. It wasn't real game experience. And then there's Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I ultimately feel like one of the two are going to go between Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. I do feel like it will be Kenny Pickett. He is younger. There's probably going to be some trade value. There will be a quarterback possibly getting hurt in the preseason, and they could possibly trade him for some draft capital. So you never really know. I do feel like he'd be the first one to go. Joe Flacco is the experienced quarterback. He's also a lot older. He's not expected to be around for very much longer. So you really can't build a franchise around him. And with the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation, Deshaun Watson's contract, it really makes no sense to bring in a veteran quarterback and pay them more money when you have 2 rookies on the roster that are demanding less salary from your team. So ultimately, I do feel like the decision still is to develop Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel, and just do something with either Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett and see which one can possibly play for this season. I do feel like Joe Flacco would be the one. He'd probably be hurt at some point during the season. That's when we would see like a Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel. And when they come in, as soon as Joe Flacco's healthy again, he'd come back in and maybe possibly make the playoffs. It's still a relatively good team. And I do feel like there is that possibility. With Kenny Pickett, if he did come in and if he did start the season and if he did well, then there's a quarterback controversy on their hands. And they really will be in a place where they can't really trade him without making the fans upset. But if they ended up bringing in a rookie like a Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel, it gives them an opportunity to evaluate their players and see what they have for the future. So ultimately, we just need to be patient. We need to sit back and see what happens in training camp and in the preseason and just kind of see who plays the best. Right now, they're not really playing at full speed. In training camp, that's the first time they actually get to play in full speed and actually compete for positions and for playing opportunities. So we're going to have to see how this develops and see how well they all do in the preseason. And then by that time, we should be able to give you a much better evaluation of who might possibly play. All right, YouTube, I'll catch you on the next one.